Good morning, good afternoon. So let's start the discussion of the day. The first topic is how India is helping West meet its energy demand by importing Russian oil. European Union Foreign and Security Policy Chief Joseph Borrell, Borrell in an interview recently said the European Union should crack down on India reselling Russian oil into Europe as refined fuel, including diesel. Since Russia invaded Ukraine in February 2022, India has emerged as one of the biggest buyer of Russian oil. Last week, a report by the BBC, British Broadcasting Corporation, said India's import of Russian oil rose tenfold last year, according to the Bank of Baroda. In 2021, Russian oil accounted for just 2% of Indian annual crude import. That figure now stands at almost 20%, it added. That means from 2% it has crossed to 20% in just 1 year. However, India has not yet faced a significant blowback of getting Russian oil as a country in helping the West meet its energy demands. The access to cheap crude oil has allowed the country's refinery to register massive profit and export record level refined petroleum products to Europe and the USA. India has big refinery facility, so after importing the crude petroleum from Russia, India is processing it, refining it and making different products and exporting it to other countries. For instance, Indian refiners exported an average around 284,000 barrels per day of refined petroleum products to Europe in the December-April period, up from about 170,000 barrels in a year ago, just 1 year ago. Okay, that is show the difference between the import done earlier and the import being done by India at present. Okay, the export of crude petroleum from India then and the import at present. अरे सत्य ये जो एटा कहीं टिके मूव करूनी से जो स्क्रीन टा बड़ होनी कौन करी हाँ okay. This has angered European Union politicians who are blaming Delhi for making a profit by using cheaply bought Russian oil and in turn helping Moscow's economy stay afloat because India has emerged as the biggest buyer from Russia. Russia is able to withstand the pressure on it. So although there is sanction on Russia, but okay, so we are importing it from Russia in the crude set and exporting it even European countries. Although Europe has imposed a ban on okay, but because India is continuing to import oil from Russia, but there is no such sanction on India by the Western countries, rather the European Union. Okay, so and other America, even America is importing petroleum products from India. Okay, what are the sanctions against Russian oil products? Soon after the Russian invasion of Ukraine, the European and Western countries started a curtail their dependence on Moscow's energy import. So because the Russia-Ukraine war, so the Western country, including the NATO-led country, including that of including USA, they have imposed a ban on import of Russian oil. But indirectly, what happened? So this is going the other way. So India is importing and exporting it again to the European Union. Okay. Also started to curtail their dependence on Moscow energy import in a bid to suppress squeeze its economy. For instance, Germany suspended the launch of the new Nord Stream natural gas pipeline, and Canada and the US banned the import of Russian crude oil. With the war dragging on in the following months, these nations decided to impose stricter sanctions on Russia for further dent its finances. On December 5, 2022, the Group of Seven, Canada, France, Germany, Italy, Japan, the United Kingdom, and United States, and the European Union and Australia enforced a price cap on Russian crude. The price cap prohibits Western shippers and insurance from getting involved in trade of Russian oil if it trades above 60 barrels per day. That is, to only the intention is only to check the import of Russian crude, and thereby putting a strain on Russian economy, because oil is a major source of economy that trade in Russia, and as this is being done. Okay, so as most of the oil tankers taking Russian oil are European, and more than 90% of the global insurance of the freights are tonnage is made available by European companies, experts believe the price cap imposition could cripple Moscow's economy and severely impact its ability to fund its battle against Ukraine. However, Russia responded by increasing its oil export to India and China. Okay, so this is the origin how Russia is able to manage its economy, and others are unable to. Within the European country and the NATO group, they are unable to bring Russia under control. What they intend to do, that is a failure on their part. They are unable to do this. Okay. Then how India is helping the West meet its energy demand? The sanction imposed on the import of Russian oil are not applicable to India. The amount of fuel from Moscow entering the country has reached a record height. This has allowed India to not only easily meet its own energy demand, but also that of other countries, especially the Western nations, who have been facing an energy crisis ever since the Russia-Ukraine war started. Because the European Union stopped importing, but via India, they are taking the Indian products. India is importing more and more oil from Moscow and refining it into fuel, which is being supplied to Europe and the US. Notably, the Russian oil refined in the Indian is not considered to be a Russian origin. Therefore, it did not come as a surprise when last month's data from the Kepler and Vortex has showed that India's diesel export to the Europe rose 12 to 16% to 1,50,000 to 1,67,000 BPD in the last fiscal year. It was also revealed that India boosted its vacuum gas oil shipment to the US. The US took about 1,11,000 to 12,000 BPD of the vacuum gas oil in 22-23. As of 60 to 81% of the Indian overall export of the refining feedbacks that can be processed further to produce fuels such as gasoline and diesel. So it is both India is exporting to European Union and to USA, and this is a big setback to the sanction imposed on Russia by the America as well as the European Union, because this sanction has no meaning, because via India they are importing the and fulfilling the requirements. Fine. That is why. So it is not. It has no impact on. Okay, about the Nord Stream pipeline. The Nord Stream pipeline is a natural gas pipeline that runs under the Baltic Sea, connecting Russia and Germany. The pipeline was built with the aim of transporting natural gas from Russia to Europe by passing traditional transit countries such as the Ukraine. The first line of the world Nord Stream pipeline was completed in 2011 and the second in 2012, and it has since become a major source of natural gas for Europe through from Russia. From Russia, this okay. So oil was shifted to Russia, from Russia to European Union, especially Germany. Okay, and
So this has a major impact because in the post war period. So this sanction imposed on Russia has led to it don't have that impact because Russia is able to increase its export to India and China, and both are right now exporting that, re-exporting that, and exporting that back to European countries. The first line of the world Nord Stream pipeline was come 2011, and Nord Stream 2, which runs from the Ust Luga in Leningrad, Russia, to Lubmin, had the capacity to handle 55 billion cubic meter of gas per year once it becomes fully operational. The Nord Stream pipeline has significant economic and political implications for both Europe and Russia, but Germany has stopped importing through this particular pipeline. This is a big setback. Okay. The Nord Stream pipeline provides a reliable and cost-effective source of natural gas to Europe, which is crucial energy source for many countries in the region. Many European businesses have large investment in the Nord Stream 2. There is a pressure on government from this business because as Germany decided not to import through this, so those who have invested in this, they are right now going to face a big financial crisis because the entire investment will just go in waste. Okay. The next topic is science and technology. So, ASTA, how government AI and the face recognition tool will detect phone frauds. The Department of Telecommunication (DOT) has developed an artificial intelligence-based facial recognition tool that it claims has the capability of running checks on subscriber database of telecom operators to decide whether it contains multiple connections associated with the same person. The DOT claimed the tool called the Artificial Intelligence and Facial Recognition Powered Solution for Telecom SIM Subscriber Verification ASTR can potentially bring down cyber frauds by detecting and blocking possible fraudulent mobile connections. The origin of this ASTA: in 2012, DOT has issued an order to all telecom operators that they could have to share their subscriber database, including users' pictures, with the department. These images constitute the core database on which authorities are running their facial recognition algorithm using ASTA. The ASTA project was conceptualized and designed between April 2021 to July 2021 by the DOT unit in Haryana. Okay, so that is what. So this will check the fraud, and Department of Telecommunication will check the multiple phone connections, mobile connection, individual's name, and to some extent this will to some extent help in so detecting the duplications and the fraud being conducted in this particular domain. This is of that is why it is of importance. Okay, a pilot project was launched in Haryana, Mewat region to test ASTA's feasibility. It is understood that before the ASTA pilot project, there are approximately 16.69 lakh SIM in Mewat, of which close to 5 lakh SIM across all telecom operators were detected to be fraudulent. Working of ASTA, human faces in subscriber image are encoded using convolutional neutral network CNN models in order to account for the tilt and angle of the face, opaqueness and dark color of the image. After that, a face comparison is carried out on each face against all faces in the database, and similar faces are grouped under the directory. Two faces are concluded to be identical by Aster if they match to the extent of at least 97.5%. Aster is capable of detecting all seen against a suspected face in less than 10 seconds from a database of 1 crore image. Once the face is matched, Aster's algorithm uses what is described as the fuzzy logic to find similarity or approximate match for the subscriber names. Fine. And this will help in checking the fraud. Okay, pilot project at lunch in Haryana's Mewat region to test this. Okay, and how it work? So this is the mechanism through which it work. ଖାଇଛ ବାବୁ ସନ୍ଦେହ ନାହିଁ ଠିକ୍ କେତେବେଳେ ଆସିବ ଭାଇ କାହିଁ ଯାଉନି ସେ ମାଉସଟା ବି କାମ କରୁନି ସେ ମୁଭ୍ କରୁନି ଆସ ଖାଇକି ଆସ to take a random example of a name, if one were to look of Apple Inc., the algorithm will produce related results including Apple Incorporated, Apple Park, iPhone, etc. It also accounts for any typographical error that might have occurred while the subscriber acquisition from was being filled. The DOT allow an individual to take 9 legitimate mobile phone connections using a single identity proof. Okay, take 9 legitimate mobile phones. In essence, what the Star does is, one, it looks of if there are more than 9 connections against a single individual's photograph. It runs a search through the database to see if the same person has taken SIM under different names. Star has detected as many as 6,800 connections against the same image of the subscriber, that is the same face but different names. In another case, 5,300 connections were found to have been taken against a single image. That is how the fraud was conducted. Okay, so name same, photo different, photo same, name different, but the connection has been given. This is a fraud, and this is only against 9. So thousands of connections have been taken against the person. Although DOT allowed only 9 connections in an individual's name, but this showed that thousands of connections, 5,000 connections have been taken on one individual's name. This is a big challenge. Okay, what happened next? Once the DOT has determined that a set of numbers have been obtained by people through fraudulent means, it share a list of those connections with telecom operator to block. According to the Ministry of Communication, an analysis of more than 87 crore mobile connections was carried out using the ASTAR in the last first phase, where more than 40 lakhs cases of people using a single photograph to obtain mobile connections were detected. After the due verification, more than 36 lakh connections were disconnected by the telecom operators. The same list is also shared with banks, payment wallets, and social media platforms for disengaging these numbers from their respective platforms. Okay, that means all the frauds connected to this fake mobile number are taken care of, and the frauds are brought under control. This is the main objective of this using this AI in this domain. So the number of frauds and the chances of fraud will be reduced to a considerable extent. Okay. Then artificial sweetener harmful, what WHO has recommended. The World Health Organization recommended against using artificial sweeteners to achieve weight loss and prevalent lifestyle diseases such as the diabetes. The report emphasized that while there was a need to cut intake of sugar, it should be not be replaced by artificial sweeteners. Artificial sweeteners provide the sweet taste with a very little or no calories. Many diabetes use the sweeteners in their tea and coffee, but there is a growing market for packaged foods and beverages using these sweeteners to offer low calorie options. Who suggests that non-sugar sweeteners not be used as a means of achieving weight control or reduce the risk of non-communicable diseases? Recommendation of WHO: while there could be some weight loss and reduction in body mass index in the short term, as the artificial sweeteners bring down the calorie consumed, but in the long run they have been linked to weight gain, the WHO say. So initially there may be weight loss, but in subsequent period, so that result in weight gain, and that will be a chemical which is used to replace the sugar, and it is a temporary solution, not a permanent one. Initially it may lead to weight loss, but subsequent period it will definitely result in massive weight gain by the people who are using artificial sweeteners replacing sugar. Okay. The sweetener have also linked to an increased risk of type 2 diabetes, cardiovascular disease, and mortality in the long run. Some low certainly data also link the use of such artificial sweeteners to bladder cancers and preterm birth when consumed by pregnant women. The meta-analysis found that higher intake of this NSS was associated with 23% increase in the risk of type 2 diabetes when consumed in the form of beverages and 34% when added to foods. Higher intake of these sweeteners was also linked with 32% increase in the risk of cardiovascular disease, including 19% increase in risk of strokes and 13% increase in the risk of hypertension. It also was also linked with a 25% increase in the risk for preterm birth, long-term adverse effect in the form of increased risk of death and disease. Okay. Offset by potential short-term health benefits resulting from the relatively small reduction in body weight and BMI observed in randomized controlled trials. WHO has made these recommendations for everyone other than those who are already diabetic. Replacing free sugar with non-sugar sweeteners does not help with weight control in the long term. People need to consider other way to reduce the free sugar intake, such as consuming food with natural organic sugar like fruits or unsweetened fruit and beverages. So, but replacing sugar with artificial sweetener is not a panacea. Now it is going to help in weight loss and controlling the diseases. Fine. Then about diabetes. Diabetes is a metabolic disease or a condition in which the glucose level in the blood will be high over a prolonged period of time. In other words, it can be defined as a condition that occurs when the body cannot efficiently make use of glucose that serves as a source of energy for body cell. Blood sugar levels are controlled by a hormone called insulin. World Diabetes Day is observed on 14th November every year since 2006. That causes of diabetes Diabetes is either caused due to the insufficient production of insulin by the pancreas, or it may occur if the cell of the body are not effectively responding to the insulin produced. Okay, that is how diabetes took place into different. इतने कौन
मैडम को लागू तो मिले नहीं
Okay, so symptoms of disease, signs and symptoms vary from person to person, or even they may be there may be no sign sometimes. Frequent urination, feeling more stressed or tired than usual, being atherastia are the symptoms of diabetes. Blurred vision, loss of weight, types of diabetes. Diabetes is categorized into following types based on the reason for their causes: diabetic mellitus, type 1 diabetes, type 2 diabetes, diabetes insipidus, gestational diabetes. Diabetes mellitus is the inability of the body to effectively use or respond to the insulin produced by the body, and as a result, blood sugar level cannot be regulated effectively. Diabetes mellitus is further classified into two types, namely the type 1 and type 2 diabetes. Type 1 diabetes, it is also known as diabetes mellitus type 1. It occurs when the pancreas fails to produce sufficient insulin. The consequent lack of insulin causes an increase in glucose level in urine and blood. Type 1 diabetes symptom, it is quite easily diagnosed. It is associated with common symptoms of diabetes as well: unexplained weight loss, blurred vision, always feeling hungry, itching, skin infections, having cuts that heal slowly, and blurred vision are the symptoms of the type 1 and type 2 diabetes. And India is going to be the diabetic capital of the world, and for this our food habits, lack of exercise, and the stress and pollution are the major factors that is spreading to diabetes. And India is going to replace China as the diabetic capital of the world shortly. Type 2 diabetes is also called the diabetic mellitus type 2. The prime reason for the occurrence of the type 2 diabetes is obesity and lack of exercise in people who are genetically biased. It is more common in adults, and 90% mostly cases diabetic are type 2 only. Type 2 diabetes symptoms, it's mainly associated with the lifestyle factors. Genetics also add up to the factors. Its symptoms usually go unnoticed. The gradual decrease in weight is one of the symptoms of type 2 diabetes. There may be a lack of physical activity, obesity, urbanization, and change in diet. Gestational diabetes, this type of glucose in the blood increases during pregnancy and may generate complications for birth and mother and child. It is also be seen that gestational diabetes may disappear after pregnancy, but affected women and children are not in increased risk of developing type 2 diabetes later in their life. Because this type 1 and type 2 diabetes also okay, so कौन करो फूड अच्छा এটা কত কোন করলো
বড় করে হতো
এইটা এইটা okay, so in this type of glucose is blood increases during pregnancy and may generate complications for both mother and child. Right. Economic Robert E. Lucas. Okay. Chicago University Economics and Nobel laureate Robert E. Lucas, 85, died. While awarding him the Nobel Prize in Economics in 1995, the Royal Swedish Academy While awarding him Nobel Prize in Economics in 1990, the Royal Swedish Academy of Science has stated Robert Lucas is the economist whose work has had the greatest impact on the development of macroeconomics and macroeconomic metrics since 1970. His work challenged Keynesian orthodoxy and policy solutions such as government providing the cut to boost economic, tax cut to boost economic activity and reduce unemployment, and led to the growth of what is called as new classical economics. He argued that if people are rational, which is assumed in macroeconomics, then governance intervention will only have an impact on price and inflation. If it is unexpected or unpredictable, otherwise people adjust their expectations for future inflation as soon as policy is announced, and it then has to no impact on price as well as the inflation. Then the next topic is the global accessibility awareness. The Department of Empowerment. The Department of Empowerment of Persons with Disability. Okay. DPWD will be celebrating the Global Accessibility Awareness Day on 18th May 2023 with the vision to build an inclusive society in which equal opportunity are provided for the growth and development of persons with disability, called the BANGO, so that they can lead productive, safe and dignified lives. This ministry, Department of the Ministry of Social Justice and Empowerment, Government of India. So, which one? DPWD, Department for Empowerment of Persons with Disability, under the Ministry of Social Justice and Empowerment, Government of India, is the nodal body to look after all the development agenda of the person with disability of the country. Celebrated on the third Thursday of May every year, the purpose of this GAAD is to get everyone talking, thinking and learning about digital web, software, mobile, etc. Access inclusion for people with different disability. Then the Sanchar Sathi portal. Ministry of Communications launches citizen-centric portal named the Sanchar Sathi portal to fulfill vision of the safe and secure communication under the Digital India program. Through this portal, people will be able to block, track and check genuineness of a used device before buying them. Portal developed by Department of Telecommunication will enable citizens with following these modules: centralized equipment identity register for tracing, blocking or lost stolen mobile devices; know your mobile to check number of mobile connections taken in a subscriber's name; Extra artificial intelligence and facial recognition powered solution for telecom SIM subscriber to identify fraudulent subscribers. And so this will help in making the system transparent and check the frauds. The first indigenous vaccine against dengue. Drug maker Serum Institute of India, the largest in the country and even Asia, and the Panacea Biotech are moving closer to developing the country's first vaccine against dengue. They have applied to the Indian Council of Medical Research, call for expression of interest for collaborative phase 3 clinical trial for the indigenous manufacturers. Phase 3 clinical trial is being done for evaluation of the efficacy along with safety and immunogenetic of the travalent dengue vaccine. The desirable characteristics of a dengue vaccine includes acceptable short and long-term safety profile, including protection against all four serotypes of dengue, reducing risk of severe disease and death, including a sustained immune response and effectiveness irrespective of the earlier serostatus and age of the individuals. The risk posed by dengue. The global incidence of dengue was grown diametrically with about half of the world's population now at risk. The World Health Organization has identified dengue to be one among the top 10 global health threats in 2019. As of now, there is no specific treatment for dengue, severe dengue. Therefore, there is an urgent need to develop effective vaccine against dengue viral disease. Fine. About dengue, that the breakdown fever. Dengue viruses are spread to people through the bite of an infected Aedes Aedes mosquito. It is more common in tropical and subtropical climates. The most common symptoms are high fever, headache, body ache, nausea and rash. If not treated timely, dengue could lead to fatality. And there are so many people who have died of dengue, and dengue became very much epidemic at sometimes even in India. Large part of the country is affected. Even Bhubaneswar municipality area is susceptible to dengue, and the platelet count falls, leading to people to be worried about the platelet count, and the platelets are injected to them to come back to the position. The minimum import price. The central government recently introduced the minimum import price for apparel in Jammu Kashmir. About minimum import price, MIP is a temporary measure to provide protection to domestic farmers from apple in Jammu Kashmir. Protection to domestic farmers from predatory pricing. Import below this price. Import of the commodity is not allowed. Directorate General of Foreign Trade is an arm of the Commerce Ministry which frame rules related to export and import. There might be for apples. It aims to protect their interest by preventing tax-free import of apple from other countries, ensuring a level playing field for the local apple industry. According to the policy, any apple costing less than 50 per kg cannot be imported. If an apple can be imported at less than 50 per kg, it should not be imported, because this cheap apple will affect the Indian apple growers, apple producers. Benefit will help stabilize apple price in the local market by reducing the oversupply of cheap imported apples. This will stabilize will enable local farmers to fetch better price for their own product. But no doubt, this is not in the benefit of the consumer, because they may get cheaper price. The Sagar Parikrama, the Union Minister of Fishery, Animal Husbandry and Dairy has recently announced the commencement of the fifth phase of the Sagar Parikrama initiative. It aims to address the challenges faced by the fisher and stakeholders while uplifting their economy prospect through various fishery schemes and programs such as Pradhan Mantri Matsya Sampad Yojana and the Kisan Credit Cards. Sagar Parikrama is an evolutionary journey envisaged in the sea across the coastal belt, demonstrating solidarity with all fisherfolk, fish farmers and concerned stakeholders as a spirit of 75 years of Azadi Ki Amrit Mahotsav. Nodal Ministry, Minister of Fishery, Animal Husbandry and Dairy. The parikramas shall be accompanied by the state fishery officers, fishermen representatives, fish farmers, entrepreneurs, stakeholders, professionals, officials and scientists from across the nation. The Phase 5 journey will encompass 6 locations across the state of Maharashtra and Goa. During the journey, fishermen, coastal fishers, fish farmers and young fishery entrepreneurs will receive certificate and sanctions related to Pradhan Mantri Matsya Sampad Yojana and KCC and the state schemes. Phase 3 covers mainly the coastal area of Maharashtra and Gujarat. Phase 1 and Phase 2 program of Sagar Parikrama has been organized in March 2023 and 23 respectively. In March 2022 and September 2022. Okay, Phase 1 and Phase 2. Then coming to the question, examine the issue which have strained the Indo-Pakistan relation in the past few years. Do you think that confidence building measures can help bring a change in the status quo between the two countries? India and Pakistan share linguistic, cultural and geographic link, yet their relationship has been made in complex due to a number of historical and political events. India's consistent position is that issue between India and Pakistan should be resolved bilaterally and peacefully. India has also made a number of attempts to build normal neighborly relations with Pakistan, but every time Pakistan has not cooperated and rather it has destroyed all attempts by India or deviated all attempts by India to bring normalcy. India has also made a number of attempts to build normal neighborly relations with Pakistan. However, these initiatives have been responded with acts of cross-border terrorism or violence. Therefore, the onus is on Pakistan to create a conducive environment for meaningful engagement. Issues that have strained India-Pakistan relationship: cross-border terrorism, terrorism emanating from territory under Pakistan's control remains a core concern in bilateral relations. In 2016 Uri attack and 2019 Pulwama attack and the recent Punch attack, India has consistently stressed the need for Pakistan to take credible, irreversible and verifiable action, okay, against the cross-border terrorism that is promoting in India. Without that, okay, so without Pakistan taking substantial visible action, so there is no scope for any bilateral relation. Cross-border terrorism emanating from territory under Pakistan control remain a core concern in bilateral relations. In 2016 Uri attack, 2019 Pulwama attack and the recent Punch attack, India has consistently stated the need for Pakistan to take credible, irreversible and verifiable action to Kashmir issue. India constitutional changes in Kashmir made Pakistan cut down its tie with India received widespread support from its decision from the international community. However, China and Pakistan in particular have reacted with hostility and attempt to open a new chapter to Kashmir on the United Nations Security Council. India's concern with China-Pakistan economic corridor. India has opposed the CPEC as it has seen as a violating of India's sovereignty and territorial integrity as it passes through part of India's state of Jammu Kashmir under the illegal occupation of Pakistan called the POK, Pak Occupied Kashmir. Unilateral action with Pakistan in 2019. Pakistan announced unilateral measure including the downgrading of diplomatic relations, suspension of bilateral trade, and review of bilateral arrangement with India. Subsequently, Pakistan also suspended all bus and train service. India has rejected Pakistan's attempt to present an alarming picture of bilateral trade to the world by taking such unilateral measures. Water dispute. India has asked Pakistan for modification of the 1960 Indus Water Treaty after Pakistan refused intergovernmental negotiations on the matter. Issue have arisen due to the long-standing dispute over two hydroelectric power projects, the Kishanganga and the Jhelum and the Ratel on the Chenab by India. Although by the Indus Water Treaty and by the World Bank Mediation 1960, the rivers have been distributed, yet so, unilateral action, okay, water dispute, India has asked Pakistan to modify the 1960 Industrial Treaty, and if Pakistan is not willing for that, so India has categorically told that blood and water cannot flow simultaneously. So, India is thinking to review the Indus Water Treaty and check the flow of water to Pakistan. Okay, so much needed confidence building measures, people to people contact. The use of propaganda by the media to both sides to justify their stand on conflicting issue creates misconception, stereotyping and hatred among the people of both countries. Steps should be taken to increase people to people contact, such as facilitating travel between the two countries, providing security for tourists, setting up students and faculty exchange, etc. Renewing trade ties. India had accorded the most favored nation status to Pakistan. However, in 2019, Pakistan suspended bilateral trade with India. Renewing trade tie can be proved to be beneficial for both sides. The back channel diplomacy, given the uncertainty and volatility in Pakistan's political arena, it needs to rebuild its foreign policy consensus towards India until Pakistan gets its domestic act together. One priority. ଆସିଲେଣି ଲଞ୍ଚରୁ ଲଞ୍ଚ କରିକି ଆସିଲେ
ମୁଁ କରିବି ନା ଆଜି ଫାଷ୍ଟିଂ
ତାହେଲେ ଜୁସ୍ ଫୁସ୍ ମଗେଇବେ
ମୁଁ ଲସି ଗୋଟେ ମଗେଇ ପିଇ ଦେଇଛି ଅଲରେଡି
ମାନେ ଯାଇଛନ୍ତି ଯାଇଛନ୍ତି ତ ସାରିକି ଆସୁଛନ୍ତି ଓକେ so back channel diplomacy, given the uncertainty and volatility of Pakistan's political arena, it needs to rebuild its foreign policy consensus towards India until Pakistan gets its domestic act together. One priority for Delhi must be to sustain valuable back channel diplomacy. More measures like the Kartarpur corridor. The Kartarpur Sahib corridor agreement provides for visa-free travel of Indian pilgrims as well as overseas citizens of India, card holders from India to Holy Gurudwara in Pakistan on daily basis. Throughout the year, connecting other pilgrimage sites of India and Pakistan border can further help in confidence building measure through people-to-people interaction. Implementing existing confidence building measures. In the past, India and Pakistan have worked out bilateral pacts and agreement with the aim of decreasing the risk of conflict. Both are part of the SARC and many other multilateral forum. The focus should be on issuing the already existing confidence building measures effectively. Meaningful engagement with Pakistan becomes difficult because of the ideological conflict between India and Pakistan. Pakistan's ideology is contradictory to all that of India, and Pakistan's domestic opinion is steeped in that ideology. Therefore, any forward movement will depend on maintaining continuity in track two dialogues in the medium term until a consensus is reached on certain issues. Fine. So both the countries should use their good office to settle the issues and find amicable solutions and lasting peace, which will be leading to development of the region. Then coming to question, Union Minister Sarbanand Sonowal will inaugurate the two-day National Ayush Mission conclave in New Delhi on 18 May. Consider the following statement. It is a centrally sponsored scheme. It is implemented by the Minister of Health and Family Welfare. So not Ayush Ministry is separate. So only one is correct because there is a separate Minister of Ayush. Consider the following statement regarding the artificial intelligence and facial recognition power solution for telecom SIM subscriber verification ASTR. It is developed by Department of Telecommunication. That is right. It is artificial intelligence based facial recognition tool that it claims has the capacity running check on subscriber database of telecom operators to deduce whether it can contain multiple connections associated with the same person. ASTAR is capable of detecting all SIM against a suspected face in less than 10 seconds. All the three are correct. All the three options are correct in this. Sir. हाँ. हाँ सर मैं अभी क्लास खत्म करके 2 मिनट में जाता हूँ. आप खाना लंच करके आ गए तो just take some time, sit and I'll send. Okay, so recently European Union discussed European carbon border tax in Brussels. With reference to the carbon border tax, consider the following statement. It is a duty on import based on the amount of carbon emission resulting from the production of the product in question. The carbon border tax involves imposing an import duty on the product manufactured in a country with more lax climate rules than the one buying it. So this will be both are correct in this. This is the new tax imposed by the European Union. Recently, scheduled Quad leaders meeting cancelled with reference to Quad. Consider the following statement. It is an informal strategic forum comprising 4 nations: United States of America, India, South Africa, and Japan. The Quad 2023 scheduled to be hosted by Sydney, Australia. fine. And that is okay, it is not, South Africa is not there, okay, so A is incorrect. So Quad Plus members include South Korea, New Zealand, Vietnam, and amongst others. So 2 and 3 are correct. Fine. 1 is incorrect because South Africa is not a member. Recently, Union Minister of Fishery, Animal Husbandry and Dairying has recently announced the commencement of the Phase 4 of the Sagar Parikrama initiative. Consider this. It aims to address the challenges faced by the fisher and fisher stakeholders while uplifting their economic prospect through various fishery schemes and programs such as Pradhan Mantri Matsya Sampad Yojana and Kisan Credit Card. Nodal Ministry, Ministry of Fishery and Ministry of Agriculture. The Phase 5 journey will encompass 6 locations across the state of Maharashtra and Goa. So it will be the answer is 1 and 3. Okay, 2 it is the Ministry of Fishery, not Agriculture. That Baruna Chupari Wildlife Sanctuary, it is located in Assam. Then the government recently on the My Life mobile applications. It focuses on bringing about behavioral changes in individual through simple and easy to do action. That is right. And the Ministry of Environment, Person, Climate Change is nodal ministry. Okay, so it is also correct. Then for giving fresh impetus to derivable and under the flagship Pradhan Mantri Matsya Sampad Yojana, 7 major field studies were being carried out by the National Productivity Council. So it is an autonomous organization under the Department of Profession of DPIIT. Its objective is to promote innovation-led productivity in sustained manner in all spheres. So here for 8, so only 1 is correct, but 2 is incorrect. The Reserve Bank of India recently told bank and other regulated entity to ensure complete transition away from London Interbank Offered Rate LIBOR. Consider the following statement regarding LIBOR. It is a benchmark interest rate at which major global banks lend to one another in the international interbank market for short period. That is correct. LIBOR is also the basic for consumers loans in country. That is also correct. The rate is calculated and will continue to be published each day by the intercontinental exchange. That is correct. The most commonly quoted rate is the 3-month US dollar rate, usually referred to as the current LIBOR rate. It is also correct. 1, 2, 3, 4 all are correct. Sanchar Sathi portal is launched by the Ministry of Communication, Government of India. So here your question answer is over and today's discussion on current affairs is complete. So keep watching every day to update yourself on the developments going on around you and get ready for all the exams that you will be facing.